Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are the Lions.
Must-win time starts right now for the Indians if they want to make a push for the postseason in September. And it will have to be done within the Central Division. The Tribe's next 27 games are against the Tigers, White Sox, Royals, and Twins. It all begins tonight in the Motor City, and it starts with the Indians trying to slow down Miguel Cabrera. Next on Sports Time Ohio. From the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, it's Cleveland Indians baseball tonight. The Tribe continues their road trip. Welcome inside Comerica Park, where the Indians and Tigers will battle over the weekend. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Well, the Indians have set themselves up. They put themselves in a position to at least have an opportunity to make a run at a postseason spot. There's 6 games out in the wild card with 30 games left to play. And, Rick, most of those games, almost all of them, will be played right here in the Central Division.
Well, and they're going to have to improve playing in the Central. You can see we're in Detroit for the weekend, move on to Chicago for 3, and then we come back. We've got the longest homestand of the year back in Cleveland. 4 with Detroit, 4 with Kansas City, 3 with Chicago, and they have to turn it around if they're going to play in the Central Division and continue to win. You've got to win almost every series. You almost look like you've got to sweep a couple of these series along the way, because for the rest of the way, it is the Central until the last 3 games against the Red Sox.
Well, given the Indians' recent troubles with Detroit, they have lost 16 of their last 20 to the Tigers. But this might be the best time in recent memory for the Indians to play the Tigers, because they've lost 11 of their last 14 overall.
And it's been pitching-wise as far as Detroit goes, but there's one guy that's still here and still give the Indians problems. That's going to be Miguel Cabrera. He is putting up like high school numbers against the Tribe this year, and no matter how much we talk about it, it seems like, okay, don't let that guy beat you. He finds a way to get a hit. He's got 6 consecutive multi-hit games against the Indians, and it doesn't matter. He hits them to center, to right, to left. You're going to have to pitch him in, out, up, down, and keep him off base. But this guy, 6'19", 26 hits in the 11 games that he's played against the Indians so far. He's been a machine.
Corey Kluber was originally scheduled to start this game tonight for the Tribe against the Tigers, but he came up with a bad hamstring, so he's out. Josh Tomlin will step in and start tonight for the Indians. We'll be back with tonight's play-by-play coming up next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsors of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And we welcome you into Comerica Park here in Detroit. Indians-Tigers opening up a 3-game weekend series here tonight. Before we get started, let's take a look at our injury report tonight, brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk and Elk. And bad news as far as Corey Kluber is concerned. He was supposed to start tonight's game, but a right hamstring injury has knocked him out. Josh Tomlin will start in his place. For more on this story, let's go down to Andre Knott.
Yes, the hamstring injury came during a bullpen for Corey Kluber. He tried to push through, guys. He did his best to try to keep pitching. Instead, the team sent him back to Cleveland yesterday to get it looked at. Terry Francona said it was probably a godsend that they did send him back. He's not going to do anything for 10 days. Then after 10 days, they will look at him. They hope that he will pitch again this season. For the rest of the rotation, tomorrow you get Danny Salazar. Sunday you get Cody Anderson. And if everything goes as well, it looks like Carlos Carrasco will pitch Tuesday in Chicago versus the White Sox. Right now with the glut of starting pitching, it looks like the Indians won't hurt too bad, but they do want Corey Kluber to pitch again in the 2015 season.
Well, it's definitely going to be tough without him, and you hope, keep your fingers crossed that Carlos Carrasco can come back and make that next start as well. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup tonight for Terry Francona. It is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Jason Kipnis will lead it off. Francisco Lindor batting second. Michael Brantley is hitting third. Then it's Carlos Santana riding a 10-game hitting streak in the cleanup spot, DHing. Yan Gomes is fifth. Chris Johnson will bat sixth. Abraham Almonte, Jerry Sands, and Giovanni Urshela rounded out.
And our Northern Ohio Honda dealer starting pitcher, Kyle Lobstein, is 3-5 and a .434 this year. He's making his 9th start, but it's his first major league start since May 23rd against Houston. He had some left shoulder issues all year long. He's pitched against Cleveland twice this year. He has 2 wins covering 12 innings. His first one was 5, his second one was 7, and both times he gave up 3 runs in those starts, but he came out the winner.
We are ready to go as Kyle Lobstein winds it up. And the first pitch is up and in, ball 1 to Jason Kipnis, who turns out of the way. Strike to the outside corner to even it up. A little bit outside, and it's 2-1. Kipnis trying to get it. He that bat up again. He was just 3 for 13 in the series against Toronto. Sends a ball well hit to deep center. Back is Anthony Gose and runs it down.
Boy, you talk about some room out in center field there. That ball was hammered, and he's deep out into the grass, but it's a big center field at 420 feet. You're a starting pitcher. You're not overpowering like Lobstein. That's the way to use it. Use the big part of the field.
Francisco Lindor batting second here tonight. He, like Kipnis, was just 3 out of 13 in the series against Toronto. Lobstein misses inside to even it up 1-1. Took a little something off. Lindor over the top, 1-2. Francisco's first major league homer came against the Tigers back in Cleveland.
I remember he got his first major league hit here. Remember to right field, he was rounding first base, thinking of going for second, and fell around first base. Yeah. Remember that? Took a little abuse, and Cabrera was over there giving him a little grief, but that was his very first major league hit. There were many to follow.
The 1-2. He's been very impressive. Grounded to short, backhanded by Dixon Machado. And he throws him out 2 away.
All right, let's check out that Tigers defense tonight. Brought to you by Ram. It's Collins in left field, Gose is in center, J.D. Martinez in right. It's Castellanos at third, Machado at short, Kinsler is at second, Cabrera at first, Holiday doing the catching.
Adrian Johnson has the plate tonight. Hunter Wendelstadt, the crew chief, at first. Tony Randazzo at second. Doug Eddings down at third. Michael Brantley looks at strike one. A little bit outside. Brantley batting .321. Second to Miguel Cabrera in the batting title race, but 40 points behind him. Foul up the first base side line. .94 out of 119 games with a hit. He's going on back-to-back games without a hit twice.
Well, that's the consistency of Michael. So steady. You get the same thing every day.
Chop towards first. It's by Cabrera. Kinsler's there, and he hits Lobstein with a perfect strike to end the inning. Tribe goes 1-2-3. The Tigers are coming to bat. Ready to go for the Tribe tonight. Let's take a look at the lineup he will face for Detroit, brought to you by Toyota. Anthony Gose leading it off, followed by Ian Kinsler. Then it's Miguel Cabrera, followed by J.D. and then Victor Martinez. Nick Castellanos batting sixth. Tyler Collins, Brian Holiday, and Dixon Machado rounded out.
Josh Tomlin is our Northern Ohio Honda dealer starting pitcher, making his fifth start this year. He allowed 2 runs in 7 innings in his last start, getting the win against the Angels out of L.A. In his career, 2-5 against Detroit. Last year, he was 1-3 in 2 starts, and he had 5 appearances because he pitched out of the bullpen against him a couple of times.
And he takes a strike, does Anthony Gose. You know, you think about it, and as disappointing as it is to lose Corey Kluber, they at least catch a break with the off day, and that everybody.
Right. They didn't have to bump anybody up or pitch on short rest. Yeah, that's that off day yesterday certainly helps, because they're playing 17 straight days now after that off day.
Gose shoots it into center field, and the Tigers get their leadoff man aboard.
Let's check the Tribe defense for you. Brought to you by Ram, behind Tomlin tonight. It'll be Brantley on left. Alfonte is in center. Sands over and right. Urshela at third. Lindor at short. Kipnis is at second. Johnson gets the start at first tonight with Gomes doing the catching.
Even with the Tigers' recent failures, they're still a formidable opponent from an offensive standpoint.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Their problem is lately their games have turned into slow pitch softball, and they've just had too much ground to make up.
Well, they gave up 33 runs in Kansas City. Their last road trip between Toronto and Kansas City, they were beaten. I mean, beaten. And there's not much you can do when you score runs early. You know, and your pitching comes right back and gives it up. It takes your will away from you sometimes.
Kinsler to right field, and Jerry Sands makes the catch. One away. Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. You got to score to beat these Tigers and keep the table setters in front of Miguel Cabrera off the bases if at all possible. He comes to bat here with 1 on 1 out in the first.
Ghost he does have 20 stolen bases out of 30 attempts, but as you know, Tomlin does a nice job of holding runners on. Ended up picking one off in his last start, but at least he gives Gomes an opportunity to throw. And in his last start, he had a lot of throws that I recall. Yeah. It was 8 to 10 in that first inning. He was thrown over a lot when Trout was on.
Tigers are a very good first inning club. They've scored 89 runs in the first inning this year. Kansas City scored 93.
Well, that's why yesterday in their ball game they scored 3 in the top half of the first in Kansas City. Kansas City came right back and scored 2, and then it turned into a softball game.
That first inning has been a problem spot for the Indians. They've been outscored 82 to 56 on the year.
And that, you know, good teams like to get ahead early and then try to add on, and that was the tough thing early this year with the Indians. When they get scored upon early, they were not a come from behind ball club.
Cabrera taking, it's a strike, and the count evens at 1-1.
Especially it was even on our last homestand when they were playing so well, scoring runs and 2-out runs. It was the first time at home this year they won a game when trailing after 6 innings. You know, so that went a long time before that happened, before they could get their first win at home.
Cabrera pops one up right near the plate. Gomes will make the grab. 2 down. Our window system's game time temperature is 79 degrees, cloudy conditions, and a very light breeze, if any, blowing in from center field. It was blowing in considerably more earlier, but boy, as we got closer to game time, the wind just really died down. And it's a good thing we weren't trying to play a game here last night, because there would have been no shot. It was pouring down rain, thunderstorms, lightning, the whole shooting match. In fact, I understand, I think Toledo had a home football game last night. I'm not sure they ever resumed it. They got to halftime.
No kidding.
Major storms.
Well, they had power outages around the area, even into this morning.
J.D. Martinez has had a very good year as Ghost continues to draw the attention of Josh Tomlin. J.D. Martinez with 34 home runs 87 driven in.
Martinez hit a little lull earlier in the year, and I think it was in May, and then he took off and he hasn't stopped. When you look at the top 5, Cruz again with 39. Boy, look at Chris Davis, the second half he has had.
You know, I think if you just casually ask fans who leads the Tigers in RBIs, J.D. Martinez wouldn't be their first answer. You'd think Miguel Cabrera or maybe Victor.
Right.
But it's J.D. Martinez who's done the cleaning up.
Well, Cabrera missed all that time.
Yeah.
On the DL, so you can see why.
No, Victor got off to a slow start with that knee injury that he had. Remember, we saw him in Cleveland. It looked like he was playing on one leg.
Well, he still never recovered.
2-1 to count.
He just sat and took a look at a pitch right there to see what he may throw in a 2-0 count. That could maybe benefit him down the road or later at bat in the game.
Swing and a miss, and the count evens at 2-2.
And I'll tell you, Josh is working both sides of the plate. He comes inside there. And boy, tied him up a little bit. He took a swing, but that's exactly what he has to do. If you notice with Miguel Cabrera up there, the first pitch inside. He's got to let these hitters know he's going to pitch to both sides of the plate.
Now Tomlin's 2-2. And he pulls it foul over into the Detroit dugout. The leadoff single by Ghost, but then Tomlin retiring Kinsler on a pop to right, and Cabrera, who fouled out at the plate. And the 2-2 is a little bit up and away. Not by much. Full count.
Check it out. They wanted that breaking ball down a little bit. You can see where Gomes' glove was. He just started it off a little too high.
I think it almost fooled the umpire, maybe.
It very well could have.
Tomlin knows that Ghost will be taking off on this 3-2 pitch, so he's keeping an eye on him. Runner goes, the 3-2 right back to him, and Tomlin makes the catch to end the inning. No runs, a hit, and a man left for Detroit. After one, no score. Well-known musicians right there. On your left is Jack White of the White Stripes, and on the right, Paul Simon. Taking in tonight's ball game. Jack White went to high school right around the corner at Cass Tech.
Oh, yeah?
That's pretty cool how they're just kind of blending in. Nobody really knows who they are down there.
Taking in the ball game.
Carlos Santana taking a called strike. Hit hard and in the hole. A base hit for Santana. And he stays locked in at the plate right now. Santana now with a hit in 11 straight games, 14 out of his last 40.
Well, had a changeup that it was left out up a little bit over the plate, gives him a little swinging room, finds the hole between short and third. First hit for the Indians.
Yan Gomes looks at a strike. Chopper to short, double play ball here. 6-4-3. Tigers working a new keystone combination there with Dixon Machado. But they're able to turn two without incident. Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. Within the Central Division, look at Detroit. Even after getting beat up by Kansas City, they still have a 31-22 record within the division, but their season has gone south in spite of that. And for the Indians, any hope they have now lies solely with their ability to win within the division.
27 out of 30. Only 30 games left, so you have to, play much better.
For Brad Ausmus and his ball club, they got off to a good start, and that ball's hit. I think it's going to get out of play. Foul. Back on May 16th, Rick, they beat the St. Louis Cardinals, and not many people have beaten St. Louis period this year. But Detroit beat the Cardinals. They were tied for first in the division. I know it's a long time ago, but they were 23-14. And inexplicably lost 14 out of the next 19 games.
Wow.
They've been that kind of team this year. Hard to get a read on them. But they've had some spurts where they've played well and some stretches where they've just been flat below average. Indians are out here in the second. No score in Detroit. And for Detroit, Victor Martinez to lead it off. Injuries, I think you can say, just simply caught up to Victor this year.
Well, when it comes to the knee, and you're a hitter. Remember, he couldn't even hit from the left side.
Yeah.
And that's the problem when you sign a guy to a 4-year deal and he's strictly a DH. You don't have your legs, you have nothing.
Almonte in center field has that for out number 1.
They'll catch Indians baseball with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Rick, when you don't have your wheels, is it just simply the shifting or the transfer of the weight, or is it the ability to turn?
Both. I mean, when you can't drive off your back leg as a hitter, you're losing all your power, and you see he's feeling for pitches. And it happened to him before when he had that microfracture surgery. He had to go have it done, and you lose everything, all your power. I mean, you want to turn into a singles hitter, and a year that he had last year for him was, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Driving in the runs, hitting for home runs, and then had the knee problem in the offseason. It just hasn't been the same guy. And you have to be concerned about that at his age now, coming back.
Castellanos down on strikes. Tomlin has his first K. 2 down here in the second. Well, as we take another look at the strikeout, Rick, it won't be Dave Dombrowski's problem anymore.
Right.
Fired as GM earlier this year, and Al Avila taking over. He's been the assistant GM here in Detroit for a long time. He's in his 14th season with the Tigers organization. But I think Detroit's they're in an interesting sort of period right now for their franchise. There's Al Avila, the new GM. I mean, where do they go? What do they do with where this club is at? They've got some superstar players, but they also traded some of those guys at the deadline this year.
They did, but you know what? They were free agents. They figured we're not going to sign them. We're not going to give them that kind of money. David Price is going to command around $200 million, I would think, or very close to it. Yoenis Cespedes. They already have Cabrera signed. I mean, how many of those contracts can you give out? Anibal Sanchez. I mean, he's hurt. He's not pitching right now. He's a $15 million a year guy. So you have to make decisions, and I don't know how much they have coming up in the minor league systems. That's the thing, I think, why they traded those guys to try and replenish it. Not that you can do it with a trade like that, but it beats trying to get a draft pick.
Well, it can be a vicious cycle, especially when you're a good team. You're year in and year out, you're going for it. And so at the trading deadline, you look to add a piece. It's like attrition. You trade a couple of your minor league players away, and the next thing you know, you look down below and, hey, where'd everybody go?
Don't think that Dombrowski didn't know that. He's been here long enough, and now he's headed out. It's not his concern anymore. But they have to find some way to straighten it out. And their payroll is up around that started this year at about $150 million. So.
2-2 pitch to Tyler Collins. Lifts one to center, and Almonte cruises over, makes the catch. 1-2-3 go the Tigers. No score after 2 in Detroit. Bar, open to all fans at Progressive Field. $13 district tickets go quickly, presented by Sports Time Ohio, so get yours today. Bottom third of the Indians' order due here in inning number 3. Abraham Almonte, Jerry Sands, and Giovanni Urshela. Showed bunt, pulled it back.
That's been a weapon for him lately. He's from both sides of the plate. Had a drag bunt, then had a grand slam in the same game, and then pushed one. I think that was in Toronto. Off the end of the bat. He's going to have to get a new stick.
Now you remember Almonte came over to the Tribe, and in his Indians debut just had a game like no other. 4 hits, 3 extra base knocks, and he played well, and then he kind of leveled off, maybe had a little bit of a cold spell, but he's picked it up again, and that's why you have to be encouraged about the way he's playing at .274 average. He's 10 hits in his last 10 games, and as you pointed out, Rick, he's been able to use his skill set, which is, hey, I'll bunt if they're going to play back. I'll drag bunt, push bunt, whatever it takes.
And the times he's chosen to do that were the right times. And now he's going to take a walk, but you're going to find out that teams are going to realize he's a fastball hitter, so they're going to make him attack him with off-speed pitches, maybe show him the fastballs a little bit more. So that's why I think the bunting and everything is going to be a good part of his game.
Let's go down to Andre Knott, who has more on the Tigers' starting pitching woes of late.
Yes, they've lost 11 of their last 13 with the team ERA at 11.63, and opponents are hitting .390 off of their pitchers. Brad Ausmus had this to say. He goes, you better learn from it. You better try to get better, because if it gets any worse, I don't know what we'll do. This is a very tough road trip for our pitching staff, and something has to change soon. Now, before the game, Terry Francona was even asked about job security. He goes, look, I got enough problems managing my own team. I'm not commenting on what's going on over there.
Well, just to take that a step further, Andre, in those last 13 games in which Detroit's lost 11 times, Jerry Sands shoots one to deep left field. Back is Collins, and it's gone. Jerry Sands goes deep for the Tribe. Home run number 3 on the year. Boy, Collins was racing back like maybe he had a beat on it, but that ball shot out of here. And the Indians will play from in front tonight.
Looked like it hit right over the yellow line and skipped up into the seats. And when you look at the swing, Almonte was a little breaking ball down. And he picks it up. Watch where it goes over. He was going to play it off the wall. It just gets over the yellow line. Skipped over there. Collins was heading back, but for Jerry Sands, his 3rd home run.
He straight golfed that baby out of here, didn't he?
Oh, yes, he did. He went down into his little nitro zone.
And there's a line drive and a base hit to left field by Giovanni Urshela. Well, to finish up the thought, because it's right on the money and right on time, as Andre told us, Detroit's lost 11 out of their last 13. And in those 13 games, Rick, they've been outscored 94-42. That's tough to overcome. And twice they've given up 12 runs. Twice they've given up 15 runs during that stretch.
Yeah, when you run through stretches like that, that's tough to weather.
Look at that starter ERA, 6.38.
Yeah, it's
and the bullpen has been no help.
Well, they've always had issues out of the bullpen. We know that. When you think about it, Verlander went down for a while. He really struggled. Now he's coming back, and he's pitching better for him. We told you Sanchez, he's been out. He's had his problems as far as giving up the long ball. They traded David Price. So, yeah, they have issues, is right. This is going to be a tough September for them. They can still score, though. You have to continue to put runs on the board.
Kipnis lays a bunt down foul. And it's 1-1. You know, we've talked about it so many times this year from the Indians' point of view, and how the lack of offense for much of the season was maybe a burden for the pitching staff, the starters in particular. You know, did it weigh on their mind knowing that they couldn't afford to make a mistake, give up a runner here or there? How does it affect, Rick, the hitters when your pitcher, when you're watching them go up and give up 5 and 6 runs every night?
Well, I think if you go out there and you score, and every day is a different day, and you want to start out early, and I think offensively that's what they try to do, is let's get on that board, you know, to keep going. But then they, you know, teams keep fighting back, and there's nothing worse than when you score, you go back out there and you give them back up on what we call response runs. That wears on you after a while. And then there's sometimes where you just flat out don't have a chance because they're knocked out early.
3-1 count. Kipnis takes a strike, full count now. Giovanni Urshela taking a short lead at first. He's holding, and Kipnis fouls it out of play.
I want to send along a happy belated birthday to Ed Vasilchek. Happy birthday, turning 89.
Happy birthday, Ed. And a 3-2 pitch. And a chopper slowly to first. Cabrera goes to second. That's all they get. One away.
Well, it's Sugardale Dollar Dog Night, September 11th. The Indians will host the Detroit Tigers when they come back in. It's post-game fireworks. It's presented by Wayside Furniture. So check Indians.com for your tickets.
Speaking of belated happy birthday wishes, happy birthday to you.
Who?
You.
That's a long time ago, pal.
A couple of days.
Yeah. Got an off day. I'm recouped.
Rejuvenated.
You get 70, you gotta rejuvenate.
Thought it was 75.
Well, it was. I took 5 off yesterday.
That's what they said on the bus anyway. He gave you the shout out. 1 ball, no strikes. Francisco Lindor grounded out his only time up. Abraham Almonte started the inning with a walk. Jerry Sands golfed one out of here to deep left for a 2-run homer. And the Indians have an early lead.
That ball that Sands hit, Almonte was off and running on that pitch. Don't know if they have something. They pick up something in the move of Lobstein. But if they do, Kipnis is over there. He can steal a bag if need be. There was a little slide step there.
Base hit in the left, Lindor. Taking a page out of Urshela's book, and Santana, who all 3 hitters have found the hole on the left side of the infield.
Puts a good swing on the ball here. That might have been a changeup or something off speed because he turned on it in a hurry. So it's the 3rd hit in the inning, the 4th hit for the Indians, and they still only have 1 out and runners at first and second. Lobstein made 6 starts down in the minor leagues before this one coming up here. He was 0-3 and had an ERA of 5.5 or a little higher. So he didn't light up anything downstairs before this start here. But he has had success against the Indians this year, winning 2 starts. Oh, there we go. Back to his first career hit.
June 14th.
Look at him. Stumbled on first. Should have been a double.
That was a moment I'm sure he'll never forget.
No, he won't, because people won't let him, like us.
2 on. Only one out, and Michael Brantley with a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Might have had something on before that pitch, because you see Machado break in behind Kipnis when he was getting ready to deliver the ball to the plate. I don't think Lobstein saw the sign.
Fouled off by Michael. 1-2.
You know, watch him break in behind and Kipnis started to break back, but the pitcher just went right to home plate. So there was a sign put on there, and I think he missed it.
Well, lucky for Lobstein, if he did deliver that pitch out over the plate, Michael would have shot it right to left field.
He had the whole left side for the most part. He's worried about what he's got going on here with runners on base. They're putting signs on to try and get him a free out.
Count stays 1-2. Did he go? Home plate umpire Adrian Johnson said he did. Brantley strikes out. First K for Lobstein. 2 down here in the third.
Well, they were looking for help. They were asking for help, but behind the plate, Adrian Johnson said, "I don't need help." Yes, you did. Did you see that shot, though, where his head was following the ball away, and then he looked back to the bat? That's why a lot of hitters will always ask, why don't you ask for help?
Yeah. Well, here is Carlos Santana taking low ball 1.
It was almost a year ago that Lobstein had a start against the Indians. It was September 2nd, 2014 at Cleveland, where he struck out 10. His only double-digit strikeout game in 5 1/3 innings, and this isn't a strikeout guy.
Grip just foul, third base side. Oh, it was only a year ago. It was August 23rd. He made his debut.
Yeah.
But again, when you're in the division, it seems like you face these guys so many times.
Well, and I'm sure that's why he got the start tonight, is because he has had some success against us this year. So they figure, you know, they're in a dilemma too when it comes to starting pitchers. Hey, we'll give the ball to Lobstein. He's beaten him twice this year. Maybe that'll work.
2 on, 2 out, 1-1 count for Santana. And he takes. It's a strike.
Well, they want to go inside with that fastball, but there's a pretty good pitch to hit. He must have been looking for a breaking ball, an off-speed pitch.
Oh, he got a hanger. Deep left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball.
I think that's what he was looking for, because they come back with it, and he drilled it. He took that fastball, and he got the pitch he was looking for, and he didn't miss it. He was just a hair out in front. That just curved foul at the end. Look at this. Not by much. That would have been a 3-pointer. I don't think he's going to throw that one again. If he does, he better bounce it.
Again, the 1-2. Got it in on him.
Yeah,
Popped him up. The shortstop, Machado, makes the catch. Indians strike first. It's a Jerry Sands 2-run homer. Indians 2, Tigers nothing. As you enjoy a cold one, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. For Detroit, number 8 hitter Brian Holiday to lead it off. Then it's Dixon Machado. And then we go back to the top of the order. A little bit outside, ball 1. In the air, left center. Brantley moving over. Almonte calling for it. Michael says, I'll take it. He does. 1 away.
Well, the season winding down, so don't miss the Indians and Tigers next Saturday. 10,000 fans will get a Terry Francona scooter bobblehead. That's courtesy of Meritech. All the fans can enjoy post-game fireworks after the game. Check Indians.com for your tickets.
Dixon Machado. Looks at a strike. Swung out and missed. Just missed a little low. And now he works it to a full count. Hit pretty well. Deep center. Almonte racing back, makes the catch. All right, so the Indians made some roster moves before today's ball game. Michael Martinez, Giovanni Soto get the call up. TJ House goes to the 60-day DL, and Carlos Moncrief was designated for assignment. With more on this, let's go down to Andre.
Yes, Michael Martinez was brought up basically because this is going to be a chance for him to show if he can be a utility infielder for the Indians next year. He's played 7 positions down in the minors, and he was called the best teammate that they had down there. He's helped Urshela make his way up here. He's helped Lindor make his way up here. They just wanted to give him an opportunity, so they said this would be the time to do it. For Soto, he struggled a little bit over the last couple of years, but they want to see, Matt and Rick, if he can be the second left-hander in the bullpen going forward for the Indians. So this is his time to try out for it.
Well, he had a good year at AAA. See if it translates for Soto when he gets an opportunity. As for Michael Martinez, we saw him in spring training. He was an exciting player as far as energy and being versatile. Anthony Gose with a base hit to center to start the game. Since then, Tomlin has retired 8 straight. Curveball fouled back.
Well, that's the one thing about Tomlin. He doesn't walk anybody. He's walked 2 guys and has 27 strikeouts in his 29 innings.
Fouls it right back, does Gose. Got the Tigers rolling last night in Kansas City with a home run early, but as we told you, it was an avalanche of Kansas City offense after that early output by Detroit. Goes down on strikes.
Stayed in on him.
Josh Tomlin has retired 9 in a row. Two 2-0 Indians on top as we go to the fourth inning.
How does he know he's on TV?
Pretty good.
Well, you tell me.
Pretty good timing right there.
Was he checking it out on his cell phone? He had the MLB package.
Yan Gomes leads off, fouls the pitch right back. Banged into a double play, his only time up tonight in the second. That young man's having a ball. Gomes had 3 hits in the Toronto series, but 2 of them were memorable home runs. Unfortunately, the end result was a loss. Put his name on a short list of players who have hit home runs from the 7th inning on that tied the game both times.
Tied it in the 7th, tied it in the 9th.
Upstairs, 3-1. To right field, and I mean, he barely had to move. J.D. Martinez makes the catch, 1 down. There you go. To tie it or put the team ahead from the 7th inning on in the same game, Larry Doby, 1958. Willie Kirkland in 63. Ben Broussard did it in 05, and now Yan Gomes. Chris Johnson with a ground ball out his only time up. It's one high in the air to center. Ghosts as the catch 2 away. AT&T U-verse Rewind. Watch Josh Tomlin work both sides of the plate.
Yeah, you like it a lot. You're going to see stayed away, and when these guys hit the ball, he's making them use the big part of the ballpark. but he's been outside. He has gone inside, tying up the hitters. And look, they're upset because he's one of those comfortable offers. You see the ball off him, but boy, when he uses both sides of the plate, he cuts it, he changes speeds. And now that his arm's healthy, that curveball has certainly helped him out a lot.
Abraham Almonte walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Tomlin, you see there at 40 pitches so far through the first 3 innings. Two quick strikes on Almonte.
Now, he fell behind Almonte the first time up and ended up walking him a leadoff walk, and he was burned the very next hitter.
That's too high, and the count evens at 2-2. That was a close one. One of those borderline pitches. It goes Almonte's way, and the count is full. From 0-2 to 3-2, and the payoff. Strike 3 called. He rung him up on a pitch that it did look pretty low. But that'll end the inning. Indians go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Cleveland. Now's the time to tweet your strongest fan photo to us using the hashtag STODataStrongFan for a chance to have your picture shown during an upcoming telecast. It's all courtesy of T-Mobile. Bottom of the 4th, Ian Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera, J.D. Martinez due for Detroit. Blowing away, ball 1. Detroit's up and down year took a turn for the worse back on July 23rd, a little more than a month ago. They lost to Seattle. They fell below 500 and haven't been there since. 1-2. And I mean, that really puts your organization in a bind too, the way this team has played. And then all of a sudden you're at July 23rd, you're a week before the trading deadline. And that's pretty much when they really went south.
Well, you know, every team goes through it where they had a couple of pending free agents, and the next thing you know, are they going to pull a trigger? Are they not going to pull a trigger? It makes everybody uneasy, and the next thing you know, bingo, the two big guys were gone. Cespedes was doing a nice job in the number 4 hole with Cabrera out, and Price, of course, is David Price.
Wonder how many times they went back and forth. Should we make the trade? Should we hold on? Should we make the trade?
Right.
Should we hold on?
You know, I'm sure they're behind closed doors, the meetings that they had decisions to make as far as an organization goes, and they weren't going to be able to afford them. I don't think, both of them. I mean, their payroll is big enough as it is, as we talked earlier, so that pretty much made its own decision.
Here is Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera featured in our Levin Furniture player profile. He hit the 400th home run of his major league career on May 16th at St. Louis, the first Venezuelan-born player to do it.
Triple crown, the first one that was won since 1967. I mean, come on, that's you know, that's impressive in its own right. And the kid was born to hit. When he came up, you remember watching him, he was at third base when they played him in the outfield that year, just to keep the bat in the lineup.
The 0-2. Wow, nice curveball by Josh Tomlin, and you could tell Cabrera was fooled by it. He tried to turn out of the way and hope that it missed its target. But that's 3 strikeouts now for Tomlin.
Yeah, it locked him up. That's the difference. Josh Tomlin has that curveball now, and it can lock a hitter up. There he goes with a little 2-seamer in. Then he challenged him fastball away, and the next thing you know, there's the big curveball. He knew it was in there, and he walks away. That's just a nice sequence by Tomlin.
JD Martinez goes after the first pitch, hits it high and fouled on the right side. Now the 0-1. Another curveball, and this one's fouled. Martinez sent a line drive right back to Tomlin to end the first inning. Oh, he ran one in and just missed.
Even though you miss, it's a very effective pitch, and I like it when you miss off the plate. An 0-2 count, you have a free shot at going in there and make him conscious of that ball inside.
A little something off and went in, but missed 2-2.
You know, he's pitching tonight. He's backing off. He's moving it around very well.
Breaking ball low and away, full count. And the payoff pitch. Wow. Tomlin thought it was strike 3. He was headed to the dugout.
Well, that was a straight 4-seam fastball. He went right for the outside edge. And I'll tell you, it was not a bad pitch whatsoever. He thought he had it. He was walking off. Gomes is sitting out there, but it's not called. First walk of the night.
Well, it'll bring up Victor Martinez, who flied to center his only time up.
Martinez was so good last year where when they did put the shift on like this for him, what would he do? He'd slap it the other way. He had great plate coverage. He was oh so quick on the inside part of the plate. Still, his hands getting through that hitting area were so good last year. And he could cover everything.
Missed inside, 1-1. Yeah, his ability to cover the plate probably really hampered by the knee problem.
Yeah, you know, you may cut the plate in half now and maybe just reacts in, but you know, as we said, turning on the ball and keeping the pressure on that back leg as you're getting your hands through the hitting area, just not the same.
And a 1-1 is hit pretty well to left field.
Goes inside out.
But Brantley able to run it down, and the inning is over. 4 complete. It's the Indians 2, the Tigers nothing. The dealers by the Cleveland Clinic. Call for an appointment today. And by the game-changing all-new Ford F-150. The future is tough. 2-0. The Indians have the advantage on a 2-run homer by Jerry Sands in the 3rd inning. Jerry's going to lead it off here in the 5th. Kyle Lobstein misses with a first pitch breaking ball. In off the plate. That's to right field, and it's well struck. J.D. Martinez won't get it. Short hops the wall, and Jerry Sands might have himself a triple. He hit second. He's headed for 3rd, and he'll go in there sliding safely with a leadoff 3-bagger, his first of the year.
All right, 2 for 2, and he really put a nice stroke on that ball going to right field.
Another low pitch, Rick.
Yeah, well, he's a good low ball hitter, and you're going to see why. See, the other one was a breaking ball that he was able to pull. That one was a fastball he shoots to right center field, and that's sort of like triple alleys out here. So Sands gets his first triple, and he's, I'll tell you what, 2 toughest hits away from the cycle now.
Yeah.
He's got the homer, then the triple.
In-game summary brought to you by your Toyota dealers. That's been it so far. Sands with a 2-run homer on the breaking ball into the bullpen, or into the bullpen back in the 3rd inning. Foul ball is out of play. Well, and that's been it.
Yeah, they're going to concede the run here. There's nobody out. They may change if they can get this out and they don't get him in, but it's up to now Urshela. Get a ball that you like, elevate it, drive it to the outfield, get him in.
He hit one between third and short his first time up and singled the left.
It's a free at bat, as we used to call it, when you get an opportunity like this.
Out of play. 0-2.
Right there, he swung at a pitch that he really didn't want to. That was a pitcher's pitch.
It's up in the air, right field near the line, but foul.
Not giving him a whole lot of swinging room. They're just trying to stay tight. Checks the low pitches here to Jerry Sands. First one to break a ball down and in. Put it on a tee. He serves it out. There's another one down. And boy, a nice swing going, digging it out and driving it to right center field. Two good swings on two different low pitches.
Upstairs.
Was to take him off the fastball inside, something slow out over the plate. Going back in.
2-2. Runner at third, nobody out. 2-2 pitch, rolls it foul right by Jerry Sands. Oh, just missed with a slow breaking ball. So a full count for Urshela. And he lines it into center field, a base hit. Urshela with an RBI single. He's 2 for 2, and the Indians lead it 3-0.
It did exactly what he had to. He came back and he knew he wanted to throw him a strike. And he came inside with it, but he was short enough and just takes it, boom, right back up the middle. Not hit hard, but placed perfectly. That's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Increases the Indians' lead to 3-0.
And we go to the top of the order now. Jason Gibness. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Ball 1. One ball, one strike. Lobstein falls behind 2-1. We now get activity in the Tigers bullpen. Just over 75 pitches on the night now for Lobstein.
Yeah, I told you he made 6 starts down at the minor league level, but they weren't all good.
Kipnis to deep left field. Back is Collins, and he'll make the catch shy of the warning track. Urshela back to first. Time now for a Mazda game break. Here's Al Pawlowski. Yeah, it's critical must-win time for Baltimore, like Cleveland. They're 64 and 69 coming in. They've lost 8 out of 10. Boy, remember, Rick, how the American League East was a 3, maybe even a 4-team race?
Yes, I do.
And everybody's fallen off except Toronto and New York. Tampa Bay's 10 back. Baltimore's 12 back.
Well, and they're going to be fighting within the division as well.
Lindor drives one at deep left field. That's going to get down and short hop the wall. On his way to third is Urshela. Stopping at second with a double is Lindor. Third hit of the inning. And Indians at second and third with still only 1 out.
Well, Frankie gets his second straight hit, so now they've got an opportunity to really put them in trouble. Very quick on the inside part of the plate there for Lindor. This kid swings the bat very well from both sides of the plate. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Because he can drive it both ways. Nice line drive stroke. He's seeing the ball well. He's adjusting very well. The Indians have a chance to really start poke a hole in this one.
Yeah, they lead it 3-0, but second and third with only 1 out. And Michael Brantley 0 for 2 on the night is at the plate. Brantley with Santana to follow. Swung out and missed. Kind of conked him on the helmet on the back swing. Now the 0-1. Shoots it toward left center field. Goes, covers a lot of ground, but he won't get this one. In fact, it's Collins, the left fielder, who cuts it off. But scoring on the play is Urshela. Lindor stops at third, and Brantley's in with an RBI double, and it's a 4-0 Indians lead. I think the only reason Lindor didn't score is that he was watching the ball thinking that somebody was going to catch it.
Yeah. Well, you can't just take off. You know, we could see it from up here. We have probably a better view, but he wasn't sure if anybody was going to get there, so you had to make sure it was going to fall first. Brantley goes in. I'm sure it was scored a double because he got to second base. They hit the cutoff man. So the 4th hit in the inning. It's a 4-0 ball game. They're going to walk Santana intentionally, and then we'll probably see their bullpen. Be the second walk for Lobstein. So the Indians in business. They have 8 hits already. A couple of doubles, a triple, a homer.
And Brad Osmus looks like he's going to make his way.
Oh yeah,
up the steps and make a pitching change. With 1 out here in the 5th inning. 2 runs in. The Indians have the bases loaded. They lead it 4-0. And it's time for the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen as Kyle Lobstein is out. And Drew Verhagen, I believe, will be coming on for the Tigers. We're back on the road to glory. Week 2 of the high school football season is upon us. Elyria and Lorraine will square off tonight. Jeff Phelps, Frank Stams, and Ryan Cavanaugh will have the call at 11 o'clock right here on Sports Time Ohio. Drew Verhagen comes on now for the Tigers. He made his major league debut against the Indians in a starting role back in July. Took the loss, gave up 3 runs in 5 innings of work, but out of the bullpen, he is not allowed a run now in his last 6 appearances. And he'll be facing Yan Gomes, who is 0 for 2 on the night, with the bases loaded and 1 away.
Good time to have a real big crooked number on the board.
Fouled off by Gomes. Into the crowd. Look out.
Well, that got in there in a hurry is right.
Gomes is 1 for 6 on the year with the bases loaded, but you remember on the last homestand he had a grand slam. That was last Saturday, in fact, a week ago tomorrow.
Take a base hit right here to right center.
Chops it
Big
from.
slow curveball there. Verhagen's going to be looking for a ground ball to try and turn 2 and get out of the inning. That would be a huge boost if you're Detroit. Indians are on the verge of really knocking them out of this one.
And the 1-2 popped out of play. Well, we told you earlier that in the Tigers' last 13 games, in which they've lost 11, starter's ERA was over 6. Doesn't get any better with the start tonight, and he's still on the hook for all 3 guys on base.
Yes, he is. Indians on the year were coming in 17-27 against left-handers.
Went inside. Did he hit him? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. That's not what he wanted to do. He was trying to go in there to be effective, but it caught Gomes on the hand. He's going to take a walk to first base.
Gets his 39th RBI the hard way.
Yeah, it hurts a little more that way.
5-0 Cleveland. Bases still loaded as Terry Francona and Jeff Desjardins come out to check out Gomes.
That was a 2-seamer. Looked like it caught him right on the wrist, the left wrist. Watch above the batting glove, right where the black tape is at. Seems to be okay.
Yeah. I don't know how, but yeah, up here. It sounded like the ball might have hit the bat.
You know, anytime it hits there, it could deflect off your hand and get a piece of that bat.
I don't.
But there's
think
no
it did,
give.
though. I think that was just the sound it made hitting his wrist there.
That doesn't feel good.
Base is still loaded. 0-1 pitch to Johnson, and he lines one to left. Collins makes the catch, tagging, but not coming home was Brantley, and a good idea. It was a good strong throw by Collins. 2 away. Listen again to the pitch to Gomes.
Ouch. There's no meat there. You know that.
He's still checking it out himself. So 2 down, bases loaded, and the 9th man to bat in the inning is Abraham Almonte. Almonte walked and scored in the 3rd. He was called out on strikes in the 4th. And it's a strike call. To the left. And the 2-strike pitch is fouled away to the left side. 2-run homer by Jerry Sands in the 3rd. Got the Indians on the board. And now here in the 5th. RBI single by Giovanni Urshela, plating Jerry Sands, who had tripled to start the inning. And Gomes hit by the pitch with the bases loaded after back-to-back doubles and an intentional walk loaded him up. Almost chased after it, but he held up. Drew Verhagen delivers, and another breaking ball in the dirt. Did not go. 2-2.
Trying to get him to chase and go fish after that pitch in the dirt. Almonte able to hold up.
How about that? Ball squibs away, but not far enough. So full count. Everybody will get a head start now on the 3-2 pitch. Had him down on the count. Looked like he was going to maybe be able to put him away quickly, but
yeah, had him down 0-2, but let him back into the count.
Now, last time up, Almonte, similar situation. He was called out on a pitch that looked low. Are off. The 3-2 is fouled away.
Well, here when you're the hitter, and I know he was rung up and it did look like it was low on him, but here you just don't want to take anything that's borderline. I mean, you try and foul it off, I think, to stay alive. I agree with you. It looked low.
Again, the runners will be moving. And that is low. Ball 4, another run in. 6-0 Cleveland as Almonte gets his 15th RBI on the year. The Indians have scored twice here in the inning.
Never had to swing the bat.
Without putting the ball in play.
How about that? Those are like gift runs. You don't have to swing the bat. You hit a batter with the bases loaded. You walk a guy after having him down 0-2. That will not endear you to your manager or your pitching coach. Now Sands, who's 2 for 2, started with the homer and then a triple. Love to see him get something here. One of the next 2. He'll have a couple cracks at it the rest of the night.
Breaking ball. It's in for a strike and 0-2 the count. Now the 0-2 pitch, and smothered nicely by Holiday. Santana's the runner at third now, with Yan Gomes at second and Almonte at first. Low and away, 2-2. This was Verhagen's problem with Almonte. Got ahead of him and then went to nibbling.
Yeah, you have to stay aggressive.
Remember, he hit Gomes.
He had Gomes down on the count.
2 strikes.
Yes, he did.
Big chopper. Oh, and a nice play by Cabrera. The flip, and that will end the inning. But the Indians erupt for a 4 spot in the 5th. Couple of doubles, a triple, hit batter, bases loaded walk. 6-0 Cleveland. Time now to reveal our T-Mobile Data Strong fan photo of the game. And don't forget, you can tweet your photos to us using the hashtag STODataStrongFan for a chance to have one of your pictures shown during an upcoming telecast. Those folks were out at the Angel Stadium in Anaheim.
Got a good memory.
Well, I saw the big A in the background. Okay. Nick Castellanos struck out in the 2nd inning. Only 1 hit allowed by Josh Tomlin. That was a leadoff single to Anthony Ghost to start the game. Only other Tiger to reach was J.D. Martinez, who walked on a borderline pitch in the 4th. Castellanos goes fishing. That's been an effective pitch because he's gone in with the fastball to really open up that outside part of the plate.
Well, here's a guy that he's throwing. What is he throwing? 89, 90.
Yeah.
And you know he's pitched inside more than anybody that's throwing 94, 95 for us against this team. And it goes to show you, if you can use both sides of the plate, you can hitters that they can't lean out over the plate and wear you out on pitches away. He's proved he can pitch inside and pitch effectively with strikes. He's made sure that that cutter, when he throws it, has been down and away as well. He's given a home run up in every start that he's made, this being the 5th. And out of his 9 runs given up, 8 runs have come off the long ball. Wow.
Close, but just missed in there. 3-2. to center field. Almonte drifts back.
All day long out there.
1 down. Our great clip of the game from the other day in Toronto. Gavin Floyd, first time this year he was able to get out on the mound and pitch. He did a heck of a job.
Oh, I bet he was just thrilled to get out there after all the hard work, and he loved what he was drinking in the dugout. The carbonation.
I think Andre asked him about that.
Yeah, he did. They tricked him.
What was his response?
He didn't like it. It was carbonated. They put one of those protein packs or something in there and made it a carbonated drink.
There's a little carbonated and too much protein for him. He says no other team has ever done that to him.
Andre said, "Give it to me next time. I'll drink it."
I told him tonight I may need it. It's actually cooled off down there, thank God.
Yeah, it was pretty humid when we arrived here. 2 down. And Brian Holiday due up now for Detroit. Holiday fly to left his only time up. Josh Tomlin, 42 out of his 65 pitches have been strikes.
And you mentioned the only walk to J.D. Martinez was right on the edge. It was awfully close.
Popped him up, shallow right. Kipnis glides out, makes the grab, and Josh Tomlin flies through the 5th. 6-0 Indians.
Offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Alomar. Visit Indians.com season tickets for the complete details.
New pitcher for the Detroit Tigers is Jeff Farrell, one of the guys that was just called up. Farrell, 28 games this year, 0-1 with a 2.58 ERA. He did have a couple of games with the Tigers.
Drafted in 2010 in the 26th round.
Chopper foul. Yeah, we were just talking the other night about guys who were drafted late.
Right. Yeah, when you get down in the 20th and 30th round, and picks number 500 to 600.
Yeah.
You're thinking, boy, oh boy, will they ever make it? And it seems like a lot of them are pitchers.
Well, we were talking about Sean Armstrong was an 18th round pick. Cody Anderson was a 14th round pick. Cody Allen, the Indians closer, was a 23rd round. He was almost the 700th player taken in the 2011 draft.
Crazy.
Talk about overcoming some scouting reports. Swing and a miss. Urshela down on strikes. One away. Top of the order, and Jason Kipnis. Line right back up the middle. A diving stop made by Machado.
Wow, what
Steals a hit from Kipnis.
What a nice play. He sure did. And a beautiful look at this. And this is a line drive. I mean, a vicious line drive. He took one step and ranges to his left. Watch, he doesn't have time. He took one step and then dives right into the glove and able to hold on. That's a terrific play. Right at the end of the glove. The infielders in the middle part, they don't use big gloves. But what a nice play. Kipnis can't believe it.
In for a strike.
Well, just remember that, Jason. Make sure you take one away from him.
Bounce towards first, and it goes over the bag fair.
Yes.
And the inning is over. So Lindor grounds out. Indians go 1-2-3, but they lead it 6-0.
Well, back here, bottom half of the 6th inning, Josh Tomlin pitching another gem. Just one hit through his first 5 innings. That was a leadoff single to Anthony Gose. Coming on, he's going to face Machado, Gose, and Kinsler here in the 6th. He has been very good tonight, moving the ball around, changing speeds. Has a good curveball. He's walked 1, struck out 3. That ball is going to be inside the bag down the line at first. That's extra bases. Machado just made a diving stop and now comes up and leads him off with a double. Hit that ball hard down the third baseline into the corner, and he will go cruising into second base. Only the second hit. Andre, what do you got for me, Paul?
I got this for you. Detroit comes into this game at 61-72. We know how good they were playing early in the year, but talking to some people around their club, they said they missed Torrey Hunter's leadership. And then you look over at Minnesota and their record. How much does that? And I know they have had injuries, but how much do you think that's played in them falling apart a little bit?
I think it has a lot to do with it. To be honest with you, Hunter is the ultimate professional. You know, and I'm sure he had a lot to do in that Tigers clubhouse, and you can see what it's meant to the Twins. Brought them a lot of leadership, and that's where he started.
True. You know, the other thing is, though, that I would have to say, you know, when you looked at them, they were so much more athletic earlier this year, Detroit. But I guess they gave that up, you know, for the leadership part.
Well, I mean, sometimes that happens. Torrey, you know, baseball works in circles. He's made his circle, and he's going to end it where he started it. And it's good for the Twins. Not so good for the Tigers.
That's okay.
Anthony goes singled in the first, struck out in the third. Awaiting a 1-1, takes a strike. You know, to Andre's point, team chemistry, what makes a team go, hard to put your finger on it sometimes, and it's when you have it, you want to try to keep it, because if once somebody leaves, once one piece of the puzzle goes away, it's hard to kind of rekindle that again.
I think it means a lot more than most people even think of. You know, they think, all right, just put the players together, get the best players you can and put them together. That doesn't hold true.
Ghosts down on strikes, one away.
Thomas gets his fourth strikeout. And it certainly means a lot to a ball club when you're traveling all year long. There's just a high fastball. You see, he's seen enough off-speed pitches, and he throws the fastball by him.
And you're right. It shouldn't be mistaken that we're talking about everybody needs to be buddy-buddy. In fact, just the opposite. You need people to be accountable, and sometimes you need a guy in that clubhouse who holds his teammates accountable.
Yeah, Torrey Hunter's one of those guys. I mean, he's played forever. He's been a very good ball player, and I know he meant a lot to that Minnesota team. It certainly helped Paul Muller out.
Jerry Sands drifting back in front of the track makes the catch. Machado will tag and go to third, but now there are two down. Time for a Mazda game break. Here's Al Pawlowski. He has the latest on the Minnesota Twins. All right, thanks, Al. Low. One ball, no strikes. Miguel Cabrera fouled out in the first inning. And then Tomlin really went to work on him in the fourth and struck him out. Struck him out on a curveball.
Yeah, 3 pitches, man. He didn't mess around.
Drive into left field. Miguel Cabrera with an RBI single gets the Tigers on the board for the first time tonight. He has his 68th run batted in.
Well, he stayed back, and he's going to get, what was that, a fastball?
Yeah.
Yeah, fastball right there, and he turned on it.
Looked like he wanted it in, and it didn't.
Yeah. You wanted to go inside there, but you know, you almost have to, with this guy, you have to be perfect. So a 2-out base hit gets the Tigers on the board for Cabrera, his 68th RBI.
J.D. Martinez takes a strike. Oh, nice curveball. He's had a very good breaking ball today. And, you know, I don't know if it has anything to do with the Tommy John surgery he had, but it seems like that breaking ball has been a lot better, sharper since he's come back.
Yeah, it has. Once you get the shoulder fixed and he's finally back healthy again, he's not afraid to throw it, and he can bounce it, but it's got great spin to it. He had a good curveball when he first came up. With all the arm injuries, he was afraid to throw it when you couldn't straighten your arm. That's certainly a pitch that's made him a lot more effective. Commanding the baseball. And it takes the hitters off your other stuff. And it makes you look like you're throwing that much harder.
And the 1-2 is driven to center. Almonte makes the catch. That ball might have been knuckling on him. A run on 2 hits after 6. Cleveland leading it 6-1. Visit mykiacleveland.com to learn more. By Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture and freestanding locations. And by AT&T Uverse, has more channels on the go than cable. (6-1) Indians rolling tonight, and we roll now into the 7th inning with Michael Brantley leading it off. Up and away, ball 1. To right field, Martinez coming in, and JD has that for out number 1.
Well, KeyBank Kids tickets are just $15 for kids 12 and under, and the purchase of an adult ticket. The tickets are located in the family deck out of Progressive Field, home to the expanded Kids Clubhouse. It's available only at Indians.com.
Carlos Santana will bat. He singled in the 2nd, popped up on the infield in the 3rd inning, and then was intentionally walked to load him up in the 5th. Almost hit him on the foot. It goes to the backstop. 1-1. Jeff Farrell, born in Charlotte, North Carolina. Last name spelled exactly like Wes Farrell, who pitched for the Indians back in the late 1920s, early 1930s. Who also happened to be from North Carolina. I wonder if there's any family bloodlines.
Yeah? No kidding.
Pulls it foul to Santana up into the crowd. Carlos with that base hit back in the second inning extended his hitting streak now to 11 games. Out of play. The walk in the fifth, which was intentional, is only the third in the last 10 games for Santana, who has picked up 20 RBIs in his last 25 games. Almost feels like he's trying to be a little more aggressive.
We talked about that in Toronto. You know, you get opportunities right now. You know, if they don't want to throw you strikes, you go ahead and take your walk. Base is empty. When you get guys in scoring position, you may want to be a little more aggressive. Expand your strike zone. Cut your swing down. Those RBIs they're worth a lot.
Well, I think the problem that Santana had for most of the year, and where the frustration with the hitting coaches lied, is that when he would get into those RBI situations, it's like all of that patience went out the window, and he was swinging a lot of bad pitches.
He gets more aggressive.
Or maybe not swinging at a bad pitch, but putting the wrong swing on a certain pitch. You know, like you talk about, getting that long swing instead of just
trying to hit a line drive. Yeah. But hit a nice line drive somewhere hard at somebody. Can't help it. You can't direct it.
Takes his walk here with one out and the base is empty, and so he's aboard for Yan Gomes. Gomes hit into a double play in the second. Lined out to right field in the fourth, and then in the fifth, with the bases loaded, he was hit by a pitch to drive in a run. Pops this one straight up, down the line, and that's going to make the seats. Lonnie Chisenhall has moved to the on-deck circle to bat for Chris Johnson. And Gomes shoots one to right field, a base hit over near the line. J.D. Martinez cuts it off. On his way to third is Santana. And Indians at the corners with one out.
He's going to go inside out there, digs that ball, that fastball down and in, down into right field. That allows Santana to get to third base, so the Indians with a scoring opportunity again here in the seventh. That's hit number 9.
And Lonnie Chisenhall will bat for Chris Johnson. Out of play to the left. Chisenhall had really been on a tear since getting called up, but right now 0 for his last 7. comes on the heels of that 10-game hitting streak, which we've also noted that it tends to happen. You get a good long hitting streak, and then you get a cold spell.
Well, yeah, you get a little, you cool off. That's why the key, if you're a player and you're an everyday player, is just try and be consistent. That knock a day. Try and get one a day. Keeps the slump away.
Lonnie drills one to deep center field, and Ghost won't get it. It will go to the wall. Santana will score, and right on his heels is Yan Gomes. A 2-run double for Lonnie Chisenhall, coming off the bench, pinch hit style. And the Indians' lead is now 8-1. For Lonnie Chisenhall, he's now 3 for 8 off the bench as a pinch hitter.
Well, they come up, it's a changeup. You see it going down and away, and he had Lonnie falling off his first fastball, but he gives a little swinging room. That changeup was going down and away, and he plugs a gap in right center field. 2-run double for Chiz, makes it an 8-1 ball game, and that is hit number 10. So double digits in hits again.
So after a meeting at the mound with pitching coach Jeff Jones, Abraham Almonte will be the batter. Tigers bullpen up and active.
Boy, they've been beating the path from that dugout to the mound, haven't they?
Yep.
I mean, not just tonight, but in the past.
Jeff Farrell worked a 1-2-3-6th inning, but battered around here.
This has been a common occurrence for the Detroit Tigers. The Indians 2 in the 3rd, 4 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, and they're not done yet.
No balls and 2 strikes. Way up high, and it's 1-2. Pulls it fair behind the bag. Cabrera flips it, and covering in time was Farrell for out number 2 as Chisenhall goes to 3rd on the play. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Jerry Sands started the game off with a 2-run homer in the 3rd, got the Indians on the board first. Then in the 5th, he goes oppo for extra bags, and by the time this one settled in, he had himself a triple. So as you said, he's got the hard part of the cycle out of the way.
I thought he had a base hit his last at-bat, hit a ball out in front of home plate. Thought it was going to ricochet over the head of Cabrera at first, but he was able to get to it. He had to jump high and flip to the pitcher. So now he's got to do something here with the hopes of getting another at-bat before it's all said and done, if he has any hopes of a cycle.
Way outside.
You know, you look at it, you get a single or a double your first 2 at-bats, you don't think much about it. But when you get the homer and the triple, you go, okay, those are the 2 tough ones. Let's see what happens after that.
Hammered high and foul, left side, out of play. Look, this is a ballpark that can yield some unusual hits. In the 5th inning, for example, you had Francisco Lindor at second base. Michael Brantley doubled to left, and Lindor only moved up 90 feet because it was a ball that hung in the air while it looked like maybe Collins, the left fielder, would come in and catch it, but it ended up dropping.
A little soft serve to left center.
He did not go, says Hunter Wendelstedt down at first on the appeal. 2-2. That's going to make its way out of play, right side. Kyle Lobstein started for Detroit tonight. He lasted 4 1/3. Indians got him for 6 runs on 8 hits. The 2-2. Right at Cabrera. He'll take it himself. And the inning is over. Lonnie Chisenhall coming off the bench with a 2-run double. And the Indians are rolling here in the Motor City. Time now for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. One Indians lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Josh Tomlin continues to dominate, and Jerry Sands goes from right field to first base. Lonnie Chisenhall, who pinch hit, is now the new right fielder. Victor Martinez with a strike called. Hey. Martinez 0 for 2. He's flat out twice.
Josh Tomlin back at it again. He has gone at least 6 innings in every one of his starts so far. This is 5. Give him one more strikeout if he can get it here. We'll have at least 5.
Kipnis from the outfield grass. 1 down.
What he has done tonight, he has really worked his pitches very well. There's the fastball. He's able to get it inside on a couple of the hitters. There's the little cutter that go down and away. Then you see the big curveball. And he has mixed them all really well. That locked up Cabrera. So he has had a nice combination going tonight. Inside, outside, harder, softer. You know, you look at this and you say, hey, this is Josh Tomlin old, where when he first came up, he'd give you 5 innings. The next thing you know, you look up at the scoreboard, it's 5 innings, and he's given up a couple of hits, and it's fine. If you got a number 5 starter like that, bingo. You can get him any runs, which they've been able to do, then he can go out there and give you more.
Bowles at foul.
When he has his command, it can be a frustrating at bat against Josh Tomlin, because you think you see everything and he just has enough. He keeps it off the end of the bat, keeps it in on the hands or the barrel, but he has to keep it out of the middle of the plate, and he's done so far this year.
Ran the fastball in, up, off the plate.
Again, 0-2 pitch. Can afford to do it. He's made that pitch a couple of times tonight, a number of times, going in and make sure it's off the plate in.
Beauty.
Inside cutter. Beautiful.
Number 5.
That's it. Now he has 5 at every start. Well done, Josh. At least 6 and 5 punchies in every start so far. Look at, after going with that fastball inside, he cuts it and he locks him up on the inside part of the plate. That is pitching.
And with 2 down, Tyler Collins, the batter, he's 0 for 2. He is flat out grounded out. Line drive caught by Jason Kipnis. Tigers go 1-2-3. We head to the 8-1 Cleveland. Authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car, comes your way right after the ball game here on Sports Time Ohio. Al and Jensen will have the highlights, get you caught up on everything that you may have missed earlier. The Indians try to move to within 3 games of that break-even mark. Jose Valdez, the 4th Tigers pitcher to work here tonight. Last 10 outings at Toledo, he gave up just 2 earned runs.
Well, you know what Detroit's going to be doing in the month of September is checking out all these young pitchers that they've called up.
For Cleveland, Giovanni Urshela going to lead it off. He's 2 for 3 with 2 singles, an RBI, and a run scored. Hit a really good at bat back in the 5th inning. Jerry Sands led off that inning with a triple. So he's at 3rd. And what essentially is, an opportunity for Urshela to just put the ball in play and get him home. They were playing the infield back. But quickly he was down on the count 0-2 and then worked it back and got a good pitch up and lined it right up the gut for a base hit. This was his first at bat in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, short. Went right back up the middle.
Single.
Yeah.
Top of the order, Jason Kipnis is 0 for 4 tonight. Well, Valdez has no problem getting it up there in the mid-90s. And then he comes with an 86-mile-an-hour slider. Ooh. fouls it off, and the count stays 0-2. We're in the 8th. Indians on top, 8-1. They got 2 in the 3rd on a 2-run homer by Jerry Sands. Then they strung together 4 in the 5th. Got a couple of doubles and a triple in the inning. And then a 2-run double in the 7th by Lonnie Chisenhall to account for all 8 runs. In the dirt, 1-2. Lone run of the night for Detroit, a 2-out RBI single by Miguel Cabrera. It's been all Indians. And Josh Tomlin's been terrific once again. Looking to run his record to 4-1 on the season. Right into the glove of Cabrera.
Gibness is going to be frustrated now. Stole from a base hit in his last at-bat, hit this one on the nose. He's got the atom ball working today.
Yeah.
His first time up, drove one to deep center field. He's hit the ball hard tonight 3 or 4 times and has nothing to show for it.
With 2 down, Francisco Lindor, the batter, is 2 for 4. He has singled, doubled, and scored a run. Sends a high fly ball to center field. Anthony Gose will settle under it. And the Indians go 1-2-3. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. 8-1 Cleveland.
Returns with another doubleheader filled with playoff implications as the Rays take on the Yankees, followed by NL wildcard leading Pittsburgh. They're battling the NL Central leading Cardinals. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
All right, we go to the bottom of the 8th, and Brian Holiday, the leadoff for Detroit, takes a strike. Holiday is flied out and popped up on the infield. Slow curveball missed outside. It's 1-1. Popped up.
Josh Tomlin 20 out of 26 first pitch strikes tonight. He's made it look easy. He's at 90 pitches.
To center field.
Big part of the yard.
Almonte, a long run back, makes the catch on the warning track. One away.
That's where center fielders earn their money today.
Yeah.
Let them use a big part of the park and let your center fielder go and run it down till it dies. But he has been painting all night long. Inside, outside, cutters, curves, fastballs. And he has been effective. You can see the hitters. He just has them off balance. And that's the key to pitching. Keeping the hitters off balance, not letting them get to the barrel of the ball. He's done a wonderful job tonight.
Tom on the line in the 0-1. Oh, nice curveball again. Beats it into the ground. Urshela flips it over. 2 down. Top of the order, Anthony Gose. He is 0 for 3. Had a single back in the first. Struck out his last 2 times up.
Last time Josh was on the mound against the Angels back in Cleveland, he went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits and 2 runs. So this is his longest outing of the year. He's at 7 2/3 right now. He's pitched 6 1/3, 2 7s, and a 6. And now he's at 8.
Wow. Another strong inning for Josh Tomlin. He retires the last 7 in a row as we go to the 9th. All Cleveland tonight. Thanks, Al. It has been a treat to watch Josh Tomlin go about his business tonight. He has been dynamite. And here in the 9th inning, as Tomlin awaits to go back out to get the final 3 outs, it'll be Brantley, Santana, and Gomes due up. Jose Valdez worked a 1-2-3 8th inning. Now the 1-1. Just missed.
Off the top of the glove. I think he threw it too hard.
Now the 2-1. Brantley shoots it by Kinsler. Michael has his second hit of the night. And the Indians leadoff man aboard here in inning number 9. Going to get a pinch runner. Looks like Michael Martinez is going to come in for Michael Brantley. Brantley was surprised. He was caught off guard. He turned around and said, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
Perfect time to do it.
Santana looks, it's outside. Carlos with a couple of walks, a run scored. He also singled to extend his hitting streak to 11 games. Chopped to short. Machado to Kinsler for one, on to first, a double play. And there are 2 down. Looking back at our keys to the game, brought to you by Wayside Furniture. You got to score to beat the Tigers, and the Indians did that early and often here tonight. And Josh Tomlin has been spectacular.
Waiting to go back out there. That doesn't happen often.
The last Cleveland Indians pitcher to go the distance against the Tigers in this park was CC Sabathia a decade ago. And get the win. We've had guys go, 8
right
when the Tigers were ahead, so still gets credit for a complete game.
Well, the Indians are looking for their 9th complete game, which leads the league. Right now they have 8, and Toronto has 7. Next closest club.
Holmes down, chasing 1-2. A little bit low. Last year in Seattle, Tomlin had that one hitter against the Mariners. He struck out 11 in that ball game.
Yeah, that was a tremendous game.
After that game, though, Josh's season kind of fizzled. But he seems to be on the upswing right now. Getting better and better. Here's the 2-2 now to Yan Gomes. Playing good fastball, strikes him out. And we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Josh Tomlin going for a complete game victory tonight here in Detroit. Defensively now, Jose Ramirez comes in and takes over at second base, and Michael Martinez is in the ball game in left field. Ian Kinsler, Miguel Cabrera, J.D. Martinez due up for Detroit here in the ninth. Cody Allen up and getting loose. Kinsler swings to the first pitch and drives it to deep center, but back is Almonte once again to run it down one away. It'll bring up Miguel Cabrera, who's 1 for 3. Drove in Detroit's only run with a 2-out single in the 6th. Two balls, no strikes. Popped him straight up. Barry Sands makes the catch. 2 down. So Tomlin, the only thing standing between him and a complete game win now is J.D. Martinez, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. To short, long throw from Lindor, but he just couldn't get enough on it to get it there in time. And Martinez has an infield single to keep the game going.
Still made a pretty athletic play to just get to it and get rid of it quickly. I mean, he's trying to get that last out of it. You can see it just barely got by Urshela. He did everything in his power. Gets rid of it quickly, got a little bit short. So infield single.
Victor Martinez, the batter, 0 for 3. Victor Martinez takes a strike. He's 0 for 3 on the night. He has flied out twice, grounded out his last time up. Out of play, and it's 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes for Victor. Indians coming in here and really taking the Tigers out of it early, and this is a club that has beaten the Indians 9 out of 12 on the year coming in.
Yeah, they would win 3, they lost 1. They won 3, they lost 1. Wow.
16 of the last 20 in the series won by Detroit. But Josh Tomlin finishes his night with a flurry, striking out Victor Martinez to end the ball game. The Indians take the series opener by a final score of 8-1 as Tomlin runs his record to 4-1 on the season. With the win, the Indians are now 65-68. And the Tigers fall to 61-73. Detroit has now lost 12 of their last 14, and they've been outscored during that time 102-43. But the story of the night here for the Indians is Josh Tomlin, who just keeps getting better, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, he was fun to watch, man. Let's make him our Pat O'Brien play of the game. And, you know, he went out there and he just had good command. Right from the start, he was mixing his pitches very well, moving the ball inside, outside, keeping the hitters off balance. They got him a couple of runs early, and it never really seemed to phase him. He only gave up 4 hits. The last one, a 9th inning infield single, but he ends the game on a high note, a 6 strikeouts. So in every start, Josh has gone at least 6 innings and had at least 5 strikeouts in every start this year. So not a bad way to fill in for Kluber, who had to miss the start because of an injury. He came in and did a beautiful job to get him started on the right foot here the weekend in Detroit.
So this road trip, which started off with a bang in Toronto, and then the Indians dropped the next 2 in that series, but they come here to Detroit where they need to take care of business, need to grind out some wins within the division, and they take the opener by a final score of 8-1. That's going to wrap things up for Rick Manning and Andre Knott. I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for Indians Live. Andre's going one-on-one with Josh Tomlin. That's straight ahead.